They tied a rope around his neck. They dragged him through burning desert sand. They placed a massive rock on his bare chest under the scorching sun and demanded he say just one word to make the pain stop. He refused again and again and again. This man would later stand on top of the holiest site in Islam and call millions to prayer. This is the story of how a tortured slave became one of the most powerful voices in human history, and nobody could break him. Stay till the end, because the reason he survived will change how you see your own struggles. His name was Bilal ibn Rabah, born into slavery in Mecca, owned by a wealthy and cruel man named Umayyah ibn Khalaf. Bilal had no rights, no freedom, no voice in society, until one day he heard a message that changed everything. A message that said no human being is superior to another except by their character and faith. That message was Islam, and the moment Bilal believed it in his heart, his life became a battlefield. Word reached his master, Umayyah, that Bilal had accepted the new faith. Furious, Umayyah decided to make an example out of him, to terrify anyone else who dared to believe. Every single day, in the punishing heat of the Meccan sun, Umayyah dragged Bilal out into the open desert. He stripped him of his shirt. He laid him on the scorching sand. And then he placed an enormous boulder on his bare chest. The heat alone could kill a man, but Umayyah wanted more than pain. He wanted surrender. So he stood over Bilal and demanded, and from underneath that crushing rock, with his ribs burning against the sand, Bilal whispered the only words he would ever say, Ahad, Ahad, one, one, one. He meant Allah is one. No matter how much they hurt him, that single word never left his lips. Days turned into weeks. The torture continued. His body was broken, but his belief never was. News of Bilal's suffering reached a man named Abu Bakr, a wealthy, respected companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Abu Bakr couldn't bear to watch this injustice continue, so he went to Umayyah and made an offer. He would pay an enormous sum of money, far more than Bilal was worth as a slave, just to set him free. Some accounts say Umayyah laughed and said he would have sold him for even less, just to get rid of a slave who refused to break. But to Abu Bakr, the price didn't matter. He paid it. And in that moment, Bilal ibn Rabah, the man who had been tortured for saying one word, became a free man. Freedom didn't make Bilal forget the lesson the sand had taught him, that some things are worth more than your own comfort, your own safety, even your own life. Years later, after the Muslims migrated to Medina and Islam began to spread, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, needed someone to call people to prayer, to give the very first adhan in Islamic history. And after the conquest of Mecca, the very city where he had been tortured, Bilal ibn Rabah stood on top of the Kaaba itself, the holiest site in Islam, and called the adhan for the entire city to hear. Bilal's story isn't just history, it's a mirror. Most of us will never face a boulder on our chest, but we all face moments where it's easier to give in, to stay quiet, to compromise what we believe just to make the pain stop. Bilal teaches us that conviction isn't tested when life is easy. It's tested when saying the truth costs you something. And the people who hold on, even when their voice is just a whisper under a rock, are the ones whose voice eventually reaches the whole world. If this story moved you even a little, imagine what it meant to the people who lived it. Stories like this are disappearing from how we talk about history, and I want to bring them back, one video at a time. So here's what I'm asking you to do right now. If you felt something watching this, hit that like button. It tells me to keep telling these stories. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week's story might be the one that changes your perspective forever. This channel isn't just about history. It's about finding strength in stories that were almost lost to time. Don't miss the next one.